Hi, everyone. Let's talk about Chris Cuomo, who's unhappy in his job at CNN. But I want to talk about what we can learn from things he said. Now, his reason for leaving is pretty simple. He doesn't like being a public figure. He essentially said he doesn't like when people harass him in public and he can't respond in kind. He has enough money now, so he doesn't want to put up with that anymore, and that's why he's leaving. But he said some other things that I think we can learn from. It gives us some insight into, the media and how it affects us. He said, "I don't want to spend my time doing things that I don't think are valuable enough to me personally. I don't value indulging irrationality, hyper-partisanship." He said he doesn't want to spend his time trafficking in things that I think are ridiculous. Such things include talking to Democrats about things I don't really believe they mean and talking to Republicans about them parroting things they feel they have to say. I don't think it's worth it to me because I don't think I mean enough. I don't think I matter enough. I don't think I can really change anything. So then what am I really doing? Okay, this is really helpful to us. This can be really revealing, and I'll explain why. As most people know, companies selling products and services, they appeal to our desires, or, they use emotion to give us a feeling that their product or service is going to elevate us to some new place that we want to be, or it's going to fill a void that we feel we have. Sometimes they create the void and then present themselves as the solution to filling it. And that's what the media does, but it's a little worse than that in my opinion. So if you picture this, now, what do we really want? What do most people want deep down? What's driving them? And I would say it's sort of a sense of peace and contentment. We want to do things that are meaningful. We want to live a life that has some enjoyment in it. But if we're in that kind of state of things are good, life is good, I feel good about my family, and I'm just kind of moving along, then that's kind of what most people see as happiness, if you want to call it that. But it's really more peace. Now, we can't live like that all the time, because if we were like that all the time, we'd never move to someplace else. We would never strive to achieve anything. We wouldn't have any self-awareness. We wouldn't become better people. We wouldn't see problems in the world and want to work to solve them, or problems in our friends, our family. It's really that upsetting that equilibrium, if you will, that can be a good thing. That's really, if you think about it, what life is all about. Sure, we're always seeking that sort of equilibrium of peace and tranquility, but it's the upset, the unbalance that prompts us to action. Now, here's what the media does. The media uses sensationalism, context, whatever it is. Their goal is to motivate you to click, to read, to share, to view, to tune in every night. So by doing that, they're upsetting your equilibrium, right? They're feeding you problems. They're feeding you fear, anger, distrust. These negative emotions are the most powerful motivators that human beings have. So the media is playing to those. Now, you see it most obvious in news analysis or opinion shows, where they use very, very obvious narratives. They take pieces of news and they build a huge narrative around it. But if you look into it, you'll find that even the hard news part, behind the scenes by the leaders of the networks and such, they are narrative driven. So the news outlet chooses a narrative, and the oversimplified one would be praise Trump, hate Trump. Praise Trump, bash Trump. So that's an oversimplification, but say it's impeachment, or say it's how the press gave him an unfair shake. So each media outlet chooses their narrative, and then the directive goes out to the reporters to find stories or to spin their stories to build that narrative, because that narrative is what they build the narrative around what they know drives ratings. So that's what the media is doing. So they're intentionally upsetting your sense of peace and tranquility. They're creating this outrage, this anger, this fear, that the only way you can address it is to tune in. You need them. They're creating a need. So they're making your life less enjoyable, less productive, all just so that you'll tune in to them. They point out an enemy, they point out an evil in the country, the threat to everything that's American, and then they say, you better tune in tomorrow and we're going to keep telling you how to, solve this problem. We're the only solution we're offering. Now, okay, maybe you think I'm going overboard, but let's break down what he said. I don't value indulging irrationality, okay? How many people tune into the news to say, I'm tuning in to be informed. I need to know what's going on. And if people have a different view of us, we say that they're irrational, they're uninformed, they don't know. Well, Chris Cuomo's telling you his whole job was to indulge irrationality and hyper-partisanship. Why hyper-partisanship? Because it creates the enemy savior thing, okay? If you're a Republican, the Democrats are out to destroy the country. They're evil, they're bad, and we need to fight that at all costs. We need to put all our energies into fighting that evil. That's partisanship. The political parties do it to get you to vote. They use the same fear and anger and outrage to get you to vote. You've heard about motivating the base, voter turnouts being key. Those are the tools that they use. What else does he say? He doesn't want to spend his time trafficking in things that I think are ridiculous. So here's a guy, how many millions of people have been tuning in to this guy thinking he's the savior, right? He's giving them truth. He's helping them to solve the world's problems. And he's telling you it was irrational and it's ridiculous. I'm just up here just doing what I got to do to get you to tune in. I don't think it's worth it to me because I don't think I mean enough. I don't think I matter enough. I don't think I can really change anything. So what am I really doing? Well, guess what? If he, with his national, international platform of millions of viewers, he can't change it. But they're giving you the impression subconsciously that somehow you can. So all they're really giving you are problems without solutions. They're upsetting you. They create the problem. The news is creating the problem. If you define the problem with your feeling of unrest, your feeling of anger and outrage, they created that. And he's telling you right there, even he can't fix whatever the problems he sees in the world. But they're giving you the impression that you can. You need to tune in. You need to stay up to date. You need to get the truth from us so that you can help solve this big worldly problem. And meanwhile, you're neglecting the rest of your life. The things that really matter, that really deserve your attention and your time and your energy, it's sacrificed. Time with your family. I mean, just imagine this. If you were freed up from this media manipulation, from this irrationality and this ridiculousness of what they're doing, the hyper-partisanship, that all that energy, all that mental energy and all that emotional energy could be spent doing other things. I'm not here to tell you they're evil. Okay, we all do this. Everybody is trying to persuade everybody else to something in life. That's just the way it is. But what I'm telling you is, if you realize what they're doing and you can see it, now if you want to tune in and you find this stuff, I do. I tune into news analysis shows, and to be honest with you, I find it entertaining. I find a little bit of thought-provoking, but I don't get all invested in it. I can see what they're doing. I can see where they're over-sensationalizing things, and I can see where they're twisting context and things like that. And I try to pick out the information and the facts, and I watch a lot of it. I'm not influenced emotionally that way. I don't feel like I need it. To me, it's a form of entertainment, like sports or any other form of entertainment, and it also gives you some awareness of what's going on in the world. So you can approach it like that. I'm not saying don't watch the news, but have an awareness of what they're trying to do. If you know what people are trying to do when they're trying to manipulate you and play with your emotions, then you can counter that yourself. So you can tune in and you can go, well, there he goes again, Chris Cuomo. This seems too perfect. This seems too extreme. I'm sure it's not the truth. And maybe if it's an issue you really care about, you'll dig in a little deeper and try to find out the objective truth. But I can guarantee you the extremes that you see on cable news and what you read on stories on the internet, that's not reality. They're only giving you one side, changing the emphasis, changing the context, and they're building a narrative around it. And, it's all just to grab your attention, to make you dependent on them. You don't want to be dependent on them, okay? You want to be in charge of your life. You don't want to be kind of led around. That's what I'm here for. That's why I talk about these things. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm trying to share for you a way to think. I'm trying to help you be aware of what's going on so that you can have choices. You can make a conscious decision of where you spend your time and money. Have that awareness. If you want to be informed, there's ways of doing it, but don't let them lead you around by your emotions, okay? Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Give me a like. I really would appreciate more subscribers, so if you want to hear more, subscribe, and talk to you soon. God bless.